is up, my little pretties? It's your mistress, the Queen of Lions here, and today we are doing another discussion video. Now, this is kind of one of the ones that I've been wanting to do for, well, I guess you could say for a while. I haven't done a discussion video, I think, since I explained why I don't watch TV, and I think another one was why I don't really use Goshio Wiki, except for Matthew Bumford's, for Matthew Bumford's sake, that will be the only time I will ever touch that site. But here's one thing I could definitely say right now is this is the kind of video that I'm going to be explaining is why people lose interest. Now, some people before you guys, sit there and say, well, what's the problem with people losing interest in your channel, Shadow? Well, it's not that people, well, some people do lose interest in certain things, but I'm just going to name the title is why people lose interest in things. I'm just going to, kind of a little bit of an explanation and discussion about why it's the case. Now, one thing I'm going to say right now, when we start to like a certain TV show, certain character, certain people or something, it grows on and we get attached to them at times. Like, for example, I used to be attached to this one person. I can't remember his name, but I don't know if he closed his account or not. I don't know if his account is still there. I'm not naming it, but I'm just going to say he played a lot of Pokemon games. Like, he played Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green, Crystal. He done a few solo runs and stuff like that, but he hasn't uploaded in 10 years, so it was kind of one of the reasons why I unsubbed from him. I didn't unsub from him because I was mean or trolling him or anything like that. No, that was not the case. I only unsubbed from him was because one of them being I had too many subscriptions, and I only unsubbed from the channels that I don't really watch or just don't upload as much as they used to. And I even know when you sub to a certain channel, you do tend to forget why you're subbed to that channel to begin with. Like, you just sub to them, watch their content, and then, maybe a year or so later, or months even, you realize, why did I sub to this channel for it, just to kind of, give a little bit of explanation to an extent. I'm just going to say, it's more of an explanation on why people lose certain things. Now, I'm going to say right now, some of my old fans have lost interest in me. I'm not going to name them for personal reasons. I'm not going to name them. Not giving them any names or anything like that. But a few of my old fans from last year, they stuck by me till, I think, this year. And one of them let me know in, I think they commented, they didn't comment on my videos, but I realized that some of them stopped commenting on my videos, stopped appearing in my live streams or that. I thought maybe they just weren't getting notifications, but they ended up telling me that they lost interest in my, community and that. Do I blame them for it? Well, not really. I don't blame them for it, but here's one thing I'm going to say is that when you sub to a certain channel, you do tend to forget about it over time, or you just lose interest in your channel, in someone's channel. So that's kind of one of the reasons why some of my old fans from last year haven't commented on my recent videos or anything like that, because they just lose interest in my channel, and that's fine. Like, if people just wanted to let me go and just let me do my own thing, wish me best of luck and stuff like that, they are free to do that because it's their choice on what they want to do with their life. Like, it's not your choice. I can't sit there and make them, stay. That's just, being hypocritical. But I'm just going to say right now, when you're sub to a certain channel and you lose interest sometimes, it's your choice on what you want to do. Like, you don't have to sit there and stake with them forever and ever, obviously. The only reasons why I'm still sub to Shadow Reader is because, well, I love his content. I know he doesn't upload as much as he used to because of reasons, but I could definitely understand that, that he's busy in that. And I'm still supporting the guy no matter what happens. I'm still supporting people like Sir Horror, Space Voyager, who was known as Skyrunner, but other channels. But even the toxic ones that I see, I just don't really bother with the toxic ones. I don't really bother with toxic people on here, even though I'm not sub to them or anything like that. I just really don't really care about the toxic side. But, YouTube has their toxic side. I'm just gonna go out as that. They do have their toxic side. But when it comes to, liking certain TV show or characters and that, it sticks by you for a long time. That's kind of why I had my obsession of certain, video games, TV shows and that. But over time, after maybe about a few months or a week or something, you do lose interest in something, but then it comes back to you, which it does happen for some people. That's not always the case, I'm being honest, but when you get attached to something, you really just like it. Like, you just like it a lot, that you just wish that you were that character or something. When you just have that feeling, you realize that it's all fiction. Like, I used to be obsessed with a few people, like, celebrities. And I could definitely say right now, it's either that I like their music, their movies, or whatever it is. That's kind of why I had my obsession over it. But however, it grows on me for quite a while, to be completely honest. But then it all fades as I got older, or as I got into other things. I just lose interest on them, and I just push it away. Of course, once in a while, I may bring it up, maybe in a conversation or something, but not sit there, talk about it as frequently as I used to. So, I'm going to say right now is that I do know this one person who lost interest in the Shadow Reader. He goes by the Kiss Fanatic. I don't have anything against the Kiss Fanatic, but I'm just going to say right now that the Kiss Fanatic did lose interest in the Shadow Reader. I think sometime last year, he started to lose interest on the Shadow Reader, which is totally fine. People that lose interest on certain people, that's totally fine. It's their choice, actually. Like, if they lose interest in a certain YouTuber, that's totally fine. Like, that's their choice on what they want to do. Like, I know a couple of my ex-fans, just lost interest in my channel and stuff, and they just either stay sub to me, but just turn the notifications off and don't really bother with my channel, or they just unsubscribe from me and not even bother, which, here's the thing. A lot of people are going to say, if people unsubscribe from you, they're not really your fans. Part of that can be true. That's not always the case. But some of it could be maybe because they're not interested in my videos as much as they used to. That's another reason why some people unsubscribe from certain channels. Hell, that's even happened to me. I even had some channels, I don't even remember why I subbed to them, but then I realized they're old channels. I'm like, well, why did I sub to them to begin with if they haven't uploaded in 10 years? You know what I'm saying? But there's no reason why I'm going to sit there and abandon my channel. I'm never going to abandon this one. This is the main best channel I've ever had. Because you guys who stuck by me, I'm really glad that they stuck by me for the last year. If you guys remember me from last year, you probably have stuck with me, which is a very good positive that I can definitely say. Of course, another thing I'm going to explain about why I actually think that some people lose interest in my channel, it could be maybe because it's the same thing, when you upload your content, people sub just for that certain content. Like, when I'm uploading creepypasta videos and fanfictions, people sub to me because I narrate creepypastas and fanfictions. Of course, it goes up and down with the sub count. It doesn't really matter to me. Sub counts really don't matter, but I was surprised to get to 1K subs, which I want to thank you all again for getting me up to 1K. It was really amazing. If we could get this channel up to 2K subs, maybe by the end of this year or beginning of next year sometime, that would be really appreciated. Even though it's not necessary, but still. I'm going to say right now, when it comes to, certain, content that you have your channel, people sub just because you have that type of content. Now, I do Shadows and Pretty's podcast series as well, even though they don't get as much views. I just try to do that too, just so then that way I could bring up more attention for people, just to get them more attention, more interested too. That's why I kind of do other things, just to try to mix it up. So then that way I'm just not focused on creepypastas, fanfictions, or trollpastas. I'm like doing other stuff. That's why I kind of did movie reviews and stuff, just to kind of bring that motivation up for some people to get more interested in my channel. That's kind of why I'm trying to, mix it up a little bit, just so then that way people will get to know me. They'll know, what kind of content I upload besides creepypastas. I am still doing creepypastas no matter what. I'm still doing YouTube, I'm not quitting on any of you guys. I will never do that to any of you guys. You guys have been sticking by me for the last, well, since last year, for those who have been sub to me since last year. But I could definitely say you guys have done a really amazing job helping me get more motivated into making more videos, and even send me stories so I can read your stories, so then that way that brings me more motivation. And another reason why people can sometimes lose interest in something is because they don't have motivation for it. Like, for example, I used to play certain racing games, like, not, well, with Mario Kart and stuff like that. I used to have an obsession over racing games, but I lost interest in them over time because I just really don't know what it is, but I just lost interest and motivation to play them, that I just don't really play racing games. Kind of one of the reasons why I'm not great at them as much as I used to. Now, another thing that I could definitely say is that I lost interest when it comes to gaming. Like, sometimes, like, I still game today, but there are certain topics of games and certain genres and certain, well, concepts of games. Sometimes they could just be repetitive if you keep playing the same game over and over again. Kind of one of the reasons why I change up the games every once in a while. Then that way I could sit there and, still game, but play a different game and not playing the same one all the time. It gets really boring at that, I could definitely say. When you play the same game over and over again, it does get boring over time. Like, I played Fallout 4, and it is a repetitive game if you keep playing it so many times. But once you've done all the missions and that, there's nothing really much to do after when you complete the storyline. You just sit there and be like, well, this is boring now. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I stray away from one game to another game. Sometimes I may come back to the same game, but then I forget how to play. That kind of happens when it comes to you losing interest in a certain game, going to another game and playing that one, but then you go back to the one that you were previously playing, and then you end up forgetting how you're supposed to play. I get it. That has happened to many people. I'm going to be honest, that has happened. I'm definitely being completely and utterly honest. So, it does kind of, makes me, bring down a bit. But I definitely have to say that this whole situation when it comes to people losing motivation when it comes to making videos, and sometimes that could be the case for some channels. Some channels have uploaded, from 2008, 2009, and then over time they ended up, losing interest on their channel or losing interest in uploading, or they just sit there, don't even know what to upload anymore, and they just abandon their channels. Now, I have seen a couple of YouTubers that have abandoned their channels, mainly because they lost interest in video making, and even some channels even close their accounts, even if they're getting harassed, or even they just don't really feel the necessary to sit there and, do all that they just ended up closing their account because they're like, well, I don't know what to say. That has happened to some channels, and I'm not going to name them for reasons, but some channels have actually done that. And I'm not trying to say everyone has to, do this kind of stuff, but not everyone does a certain thing that you do. Like, some of my friends don't know I have a YouTube account, even though newer fans and that probably had just come on here, log in. They probably just don't know this channel yet, but they maybe come across it or something. But one thing I could definitely say when it comes to losing certain interest, you really just don't know what to do. When it comes to you playing a certain game, or even if you're watching a certain movie or TV show like over and over again, let's just say Teen Titans. No, I did not see Teen Titans Go, to be honest. I'm not saying Teen Titans Go. I'm saying the original Teen Titans. If you watch a certain show like that over and over again so many times, it does get annoying. Well, not annoying, but it gets repetitively, just, I don't know what to say. It just gets repetitive, and people just don't really bother with the show if they lose interest in it. That's kind of one of the reasons why, some people lose interest in certain channels. And that's totally fine with them. Like, it's not really a bad thing. Sometimes it can be a good thing, especially when it comes to, toxic people. I'm not going to mention toxic people, by the way. Oh my god. That's a story for another time, people. I might make another video talking about that. But what I'm just going to say right now is that when people lose interest in certain things, they may come back to it depending on if they get their motivation back. But other than that, that doesn't always happen to be the case. And I'm just going to be completely honest right now, is that not everyone is interested in the same thing as everyone else is. Like, that's totally fine. There's no problem with that. Like, that's just mainly their decision when it comes to that. Now, another people why people, lose interest is if something angers or bothers them, that they have no interest in having their feelings known. So you may have lose interest in, certain people. That's fine. That's not a big problem. Not everyone, stays by forever. But however, it's just you get sometimes lose interest if you're in your conversations or something. Like when you're clearly bored and you lose interest in a certain topic, that normally excites you when you wish that you need to worry about the sign of depression. But that's just kind of another reason why people lose interest in certain things. But I'm just gonna say right now that I have lost interest in some shows and TVs and that. There was this one show that I used to watch a lot, and I think it was another show. I'm trying to think about it. Oh, there was another show that I really remembered watching it, and that was what was it? Sorry, people. I'm trying to think here, but I'm going to say right now that there was this one TV show that I used to watch a lot when I was a kid, but then I lost interest in it, and that was what was it? I'm trying to think. Sorry, guys. I'm having a brain fart. Well, anyway, it may come back to me, but if it does, I will definitely mention again. But when it comes to certain TV shows, this happens to not only me, but it happens to everyone else. Everyone else has feel that way too. They feel that, why they're, liking this thing when they lose interest in it. It does happen from time to time. Like, we all lose interest as we grow up too. We lose interest on certain people and stuff like that. It has happened. But once in a while, here's the thing. Not everyone remembers about their past. On rare occasions, some of those memories are always going to stick by you. Not every single memory will stick by you, even if you lost interest in something, but sometimes it is the case. I'm not saying that's the case for everyone, I'm being honest, but it just happens to some people in this case. Just some people. I'm not saying who or what. I'm just being honest with this topic that I'm going to say right now. Now, I'm going to say right now that this story that I am rewriting, which is A Little Bear in the City, that's a good story because it actually has a good flow to it. Like, it's really interesting that I'm doing that right now. So, if you guys haven't checked out part 1, I highly recommend you go check out part 1 of Little Bear in the City. If you guys haven't done so already, I highly recommend you check that out. That's kind of why I try to spice things up with new stories every day. Is because I want to keep people more motivated to my channel. Because if I just switched over to something else and I wasn't doing creepypastas, I don't even know where I would be right now. I don't know how many subs I would be at. This is the kind of reason why I want to try to, get people more motivated into my channel. Just so then that way they will understand, this is the kind of thing that can get people's, eyes glued to what's the screen and stuff and do some stuff. Now, besides YouTube videos, I would sometimes, make, I would sometimes do, vlogging and that, which I haven't done any vlogging in a while, actually. I think that's been, a long time, to be honest. When it comes to, a lot of people, let's say there was, a group of people that really, want to do, something together, but then they lose interest in it over time. It does happen. Which it kind of makes it one of the reasons why certain people, just lose interest right then and there. They just don't sit there, one day, saying, oh, this channel is awesome. But then they all of a sudden next day say, oh, I don't like it now. No, it's nothing like it. Now, if the person is bored with your content or anything going on, and the things become repetitive in, regards to what you are doing, there's just no more excitement, and then that could be the reason why he or she has lost his or her interest in something. It is very easy to maintain someone's interest when you're getting to know the person, and everything is new and exciting. That's kind of why, I actually, that's kind of one of the reasons why I lose friends sometimes. Not because we argue or anything, of course not. There's no argument or anything like that between me and the other individual. But when it comes to certain things that excite me, I just really get into the show or movie or any characters or anything, and I just keep on doing what I normally would do. But then over time, I just ended up, losing interest on it, is because I really don't feel anything good or anything about it. That's kind of one of the reasons why I'm not really that crazy when it comes to, certain stuff. But anyways, I guess I kind of explained more about why people lose interest in things. This video is kind of long as it is, but I'm just going to say right now, if you keep your audience attention on YouTube, you will eventually get up as many subs as the Shadow Reader. I know he did have 22k before his old channel was terminated, but on his new channel, he's almost up to 7k subs, so we're all going to get there eventually. If we keep our audience happy and keep them going with what we do, anything is possible. Now, I'm just going to say right now that this is not meant to offend anybody or anything. I'm just saying, just to explain people on why they lose interest in certain things. Because people have asked me about it and stuff like that. So with that said, I really hope you can really understand. And I'm just going to say right now, if you guys who are still my subs, which you probably are going to stick by me no matter what, because people that stick by you like this are your real fans. I'm just saying that. Even though that's not always the case, but it's still true. But with that being said, my little pretties, if you enjoyed this video, leave me a comment down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to ring the bell for notification to when I upload. And as always, roll the outro because I'm out of here, and I will be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out.